Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. We have another issues-focused video today, and I was able to reach out to Alan from Cinema Therapy. He'll be the guy sitting on the right in this video, and he gave me the okay to react to their videos on my channel. And I'll be editing down this video a bit, so definitely go check out their original video. I'll include a link to that in the description below. But yeah, this video of theirs is titled Therapist Reacts to Inside Out. Jonathan Decker is the therapist on this channel, while Alan Seawright is a professional filmmaker. And Inside Out is one of my favorite movies I've reacted to on my channel. I'll include that link in the description below as well. And we talked a little bit about, in my commentary, about the psychology behind the depiction of Riley's emotions, but I think it'll definitely be fun to see how an actual filmmaker and therapist interpret different parts of the film, and hopefully it'll be very insightful as well. So yeah, hopefully that can help me and you guys too to better understand our own selves and others. And I'll pause and chime in when I have things to say, but without further ado, leave a like, really helps the channel, and let's get started.
Welcome to Cinema Therapy.
I'm Jonathan Decker. I'm a licensed therapist and I love movies.
I'm Alan Seawright. I'm a filmmaker and I need therapy.
So much.
But actually, today we're doing something a little bit different, Jonathan. Inside Out.
You're gonna make me cry.
I'm going to make me cry and then you're going to make fun of me.
I will help
No
you
fun
through
making
your
your
tears and then I will charge you for it.
Excellent.
What we'll see in Inside Out that's really cool is we think happiness is the goal.
Right.
In fact, this is setting up for a classic story structure where they start happy and then things go to heck and then they find their way to happiness again. But the key to this movie is that happiness isn't the key.
Right.
That's actually a really good point. Something I noticed or learned when I was younger is that you can't just have happy experiences all the time. In order to feel these euphoric highs, you need to have felt those lows in order to experience the full range of emotions.
And right now, the film's painting this really idealistic version of childhood, that it should be all love and safety.
We love our girl. Oh, she's got great friends.
And we
and a
think,
great
you know, we
house.
think it should be love and positivity. That should be childhood.
Right.
But this actually makes me think of Finding Nemo, the other Pixar film, where he says, "I promised that I wouldn't let anything happen to him." Talking about
And nothing happens to him.
Then nothing will happen to you.
yeah, but then nothing will ever happen to him. That part of childhood is you have to deal with heartache and disappointment. It's part of how
It's
we
about
grow as
growth.
adults. And if it's all happiness, there's no growth.
That's the toughest thing for me as a parent is trying to, let my kids experience the bad things in life in a way where they still feel loved and parented, but like they're also learning and growing. It's almost impossible to ride that line. It's
Yeah.
really hard.
Yeah, you wanna save them,
Yep.
but you can't.
These guys really know what they're talking about, and I've watched one of their videos before, and I'll probably loop back to it at some point. It was about Frozen 2. My friend Nakia linked it to me, and I was so impressed by it that I was like, I need to watch more of their videos. And yeah, they're knocking it out of the park.
Just Joy sees herself as the ultimate goal, and everything else is subservient to her. And that's one of the themes of this film is we think we should be happy all the time, and if we're not, then something's wrong and we got to fix it.
Right.
And part of what this film is about is really being at peace with our other emotions. And I see a lot of people in therapy and just in life trying to act like everything's okay and they've got it instead of just being real.
We think the goal is to either all be happy as much as possible or avoid all the bad feelings as much as possible. And after like a really bad breakup in my first year of college, my first semester of college, where I missed a month of school, it took me a couple of years, but eventually I got to the point where I was just like, yeah, I don't really get too up or too down anymore. And I was a little proud of myself. And I told my friend about this, and they were like, oh no, that's not good. And I was just like, wait, you're absolutely right. What am I thinking? And so I had to work out a lot of things. I really wish I had gone to therapy when I was much younger. I eventually went when I was 25 until I was 27. I should have gone since I was 12, but parents thought therapy is for the crazies because a lot of immigrants tend to think that.
If it's not real, then you're lying to yourself.
Yeah. Well, and we did an episode about gaslighting recently, and this is not Mother Gothel levels of stuff. But
Tangled.
Joy is kind
I
of
gotta go watch that.
gaslighting Sadness right now into telling her, in a very positive and upbeat way,
She means well.
you're wrong and please be quiet and don't do anything.
Yeah. And psychologically, there is no happiness without sadness.
Right.
These two characters are
I was just saying
intertwined,
this
even though
earlier.
they don't really realize it yet. Joy is trying to crowd sadness out, but the fact is, if you've never felt sad, then you can't appreciate what joy is.
Exactly. There's no contrast. It's just all one thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Danger, shortcut.
I think, first of all, it's really gutsy to try and insert the concept of abstract thought
into a kids film.
into a kids film, I mean family film, but like film
Yeah.
that kids are going to be watching and not absolutely lose them.
Right.
But it is.
I think it does a
is
good job.
Actually, illustrative.
It's
when
funny.
I say this is a shortcut, being able to form abstract thoughts, being able to grasp concepts without concrete examples to illustrate them,
Is technically a
to
shortcut.
understanding.
Sure, yeah.
And so when she says, "Let's just take this way," and it pans back and it shows they have like this huge way around. As far as children's development, when they start to be able to develop and grasp abstract concepts, is a sign that they're no longer children, that they're transitioning out. But we also see Riley still a child, so going into her abstract thought, it's not really well developed, and all hell's going to break loose.
My face! My beautiful face!
We're abstracting. There are 4 stages. This is the first. Non-objective fragmentation.
All right, do not panic. What is important is that we
Okay.
all stay together. Oh!
Oh man.
Stage we're deconstructing.
Are these the actual
From a
stages?
psychology standpoint, are these the actual?
Yeah. There we go.
Like, is abstract thought broken down into these 4
Yeah,
stages?
no, it absolutely is. And once again, they put this in a
Wow.
kids film. And what's fun is even if kids have no idea what's going on, it's still funny. Well, so with my kids, we have them do these meditations. We've got an app on our phone that has them do meditations. And especially if they've been watching superhero stuff, they're going to go into punching and kicking
yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
And so we actually have them do these meditations to transition out, because there is a period
I should try
from
that.
one to the other. Otherwise, they get stuck in between, kind of like when these characters come out and here's one reality and they're still back in the other one.
I never realized that I needed to do that. I
Exactly.
have a real problem when I've been playing a lot of Grand Theft Auto. I will get in a car and just like, I hate sitting in traffic. I'm just going to drive up on the sidewalk. I obviously never have.
But the urge is there.
The urge is there to just mow down pedestrians and drive on the sidewalk and be Grand Theft Auto.
This isn't another one of your shortcuts, is it?
Yeah. The subconscious.
The subconscious mind, it makes sense that this whole area would be very active right now.
Because
Because
she's
when we're
asleep.
asleep, when we dream, the whole
Right.
purpose of that, or one of the purposes of that, is there are things that we don't want to face when we're awake. We don't want to think about it. So the reason we have nightmares is because we don't work through them when we're awake. And one of the ways to not
never
get
thought of it
nightmares,
that
or
way.
at least not to have consistent nightmares, is to bring the subconscious into the conscious.
Okay, that's very interesting. So the most common nightmare I've had in the last 12 years since I graduated high school, I either have an unfinished project that's due like the next day, or I have an exam that I'm not prepared for. I've had these at least once every few months. And it's always in high school, because high school was so tough for me because I went to Hunter High, and college was basically a joke after that. So all of the majority of my nightmares are about missing deadlines for schoolwork or not preparing for tests, even though I'm 12 years removed from Hunter High. And Jonathan is saying that these things go into are present in your nightmare because they haven't been brought into the consciousness. You don't deal with them while you're awake. So how do I deal with that while I'm awake? The fact that, I don't know, because I feel like there's not much to deal with. Is it just I'm traumatized by the amount of work we had to do in high school?
Some dreams truly are random, but thematically and emotionally, there's something there you're not dealing with.
Interesting.
My wife has dreams that I'm a terrible, mean man. And she says to me, "You're not a terrible, mean man." I'm like, "Yeah, dream me is like freaking awful."
Oh no.
Like he's a alcoholic, womanizer, gambler, abuser, right? Like what she told me is, we have it good. And I think on some level, I'm afraid that it's too good to be true. That like something's going to happen. But she doesn't want to face that in reality, so it comes out in dreams, right?
Wow.
And so a lot of times when we face things in reality, we don't have the nightmares anymore because they have graduated from the subconscious to the conscious. Am I afraid of clowns? No, I'm not. But
I'm afraid of this clown.
I'm afraid of scary cinematic clowns, yeah.
the cinematic clown universe. Oh crap.
And there's gonna be cake and presents and games and food.
Oh god.
Oh, good.
I love that he's not especially evil or malicious. He just acts like a clown, and that's scary.
He just really wants to go to the birthday party, and that's what's terrifying.
Ugh.
There's the randomness we talked about. Oh.
Well, that's a pretty good interpretation of a nightmare interrupting a dream. You're dreaming about something, and then something else jumps in the middle of it. And like they talk about in Inception, it only seems strange once you wake up.
Right.
When you're dreaming, it's like, and
Yeah.
now here's the clown. Now we got a deal.
Now it's here as the clown. Oh no, this part. This is the part where we cry, guys.
I don't know why I put this in here. I'm just gonna cry.
Sometimes it's nice to have a good cry. Also, you can't have a therapist analyze the scene and not analyze this movie and not include the scene.
Go save Riley. Take her to the moon for me.
Couple things. One, sadness isn't even around, but this is where joy first feels sadness.
Yep.
And it reminds me of something that sadness is the price that we pay for love. Pain is the price that we pay for love. That the only way to not feel pain is to never feel love, and that's not a life worth living,
Right.
right?
What is grief if not love persevering?
And joy for the first time is experiencing what the whole film is building to. You talked about planting seeds earlier, which is the importance of grief or sadness, which is not the same thing as despair, but sadness in having an emotionally full life and in truly experiencing joy. There are some things we have to leave behind for us to grow. If we try and hold on to them, then we're going to stay stagnant.
And it shouldn't have been Bing Bong. Shouldn't have left Bing Bong. Boy, it got real dusty in here, huh? So one of the things that I wanted to talk about as a person who, experiences depression, not like I'm not medicated for it or anything, but I experience it pretty strongly sometimes.
Yeah.
This is what depression feels like for me.
Yeah.
Is just completely losing, like the control panel is graying out, nothing works.
Yeah.
Right? There's no more levers I can pull to regulate my emotions.
And they're trying.
They're trying. Like
Yeah.
inside my head when I'm depressed, I know that I'm depressed and this isn't a thing that should be happening. I should be able to feel something.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'm either only feeling one thing or I'm feeling literally nothing.
Yeah.
And it's just completely wiping me out.
And so people who mean well just saying, well, you just got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and it's a question of willpower. It's not.
Yeah,
Like,
it's when your control panel
Yeah.
is completely broken. That's if you're pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, using that metaphor, you ripped on your bootstraps and they came off.
Yeah.
There's nothing left.
Absolutely. And that's what people don't
Wow.
understand when they say you just need to try harder. Trying isn't the issue.
I think for me, yeah, what they're saying definitely rings true. I was depressed between the ages of, I don't know when it started, but it was there by the time I was 12, and it ended when I was 26, 27. I think for most of it, I was not at the level of like control panel broken, but like during the most severe times of depression, it definitely was that case. That was why I had that aforementioned 1 month missed of college. I just could not get out of bed. I ate one meal a day. I had one bottle of water a day. It was really bad.
Guys, we can't make Riley feel anything.
What have we done?
It's a bit like the Dementors in Harry Potter, right? As the cold and the dark spreads everywhere, right?
Yeah.
The Dementors were also representative of depression. I felt like I'd never be cheerful again. That's how J.K. Rowling wrote it.
You gotta fix this. Get up there. Sadness. It's up to you.
That was such a good moment.
Sadness?
Sadness.
Can't Joy.
Yes, you can.
What a great moment. You gotta be able to feel the full spectrum of emotions because each one has their role to play. It's recognizing that she's sad and not trying to tape over it with joy that allows her to realize that she needs her family to help her through this.
I want to get off.
What I love about this is they've never trusted sadness with anything before, right? And now they're giving her like the entire pain.
Ah,
Yeah.
Because sadness has to be felt. And here, instead of joy trying to fix it, or anybody else, or anger or fear, sadness is what brings Riley back, because she realizes, I need my family because I'm hurting.
You know what she said at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Don't touch them, because then they'll all... But it's what needs to happen. All these happy memories from the past, they're now sad memories because they're gone, because that time has passed.
Yep.
And Riley needs to mourn that, and her family needs to mourn that. And they've been following Joy's path the whole time of being like, no, everything's great, everything's fine, we're good in our new city, it's okay. But it's not okay.
Ah.
But it's okay that it's not okay.
Yeah. Well, you finally did it. You got me to cry.
It's a beautiful film.
For me, my mom's gone. My mom's dead. Every happy memory I have of her is colored in blue. Like every single one is sad too. But that's what makes them beautiful. And we're crying, but our crew is like doing the ugly cry over there.
Yeah, it's real bad over
Yeah,
there.
he's
Oh.
oh crap, and now they're gonna turn yellow. Curse you, Pixar, so good. There is a
She knows. Sadness knows what needs
type
to happen
of
here.
love that is only experienced through sadness.
Oh.
There's a type of joy that is only experienced through grief. And
Wow.
in a lot of ways, it's the most beautiful of all, because
Wow.
when we give each other comfort,
This insight is
we
really
show
great.
compassion, we show empathy. That's the most beautiful form of love there is. Not, hey, I like you, or I appreciate your company, or I think you're fun, or any of these affirming, feel-good things, but you're suffering, and I'm not going to leave you.
Yeah.
You know, you're struggling, and I'm here with you, and I love you, and you're not alone. And that is deeper and more profound and more lasting love. So I think of families, and I think of friendships, and I think of marriages that go the distance. They don't go the distance because things weren't hard. You know, they go the distance because things were awful,
Right.
and they found each other through that. As a therapist, this is one of my favorite films because it teaches us to embrace sadness as a means of being close and developing compassion and empathy, and how that builds relationships in a way that nothing else really can.
Well, and as a parent, this is one of my favorite films because it's such a simple visual way to explain these incredibly complex things that you studied for years in college and in your master's program and all
Yeah.
of those things. We can watch a movie and then have a conversation about it, and like it's okay to feel these things.
Yeah.
We moved from Utah to Los Angeles, and then COVID-19 happened, and we moved back.
Yeah.
And so it was this, kind of jarring move for my kids. They were pretty excited about it and the adventure and everything. They're very, adventurous kids. And so
Yeah.
they were excited to move. And we got moved, and they were just getting settled and making new friends. And then we had to pick up and move back
Yuck.
again. And they didn't even get to come back to their friends. They got to come back to
Isolation.
And it was very difficult for them. But watching this film really helped us as parents explain to them. And it actually helped,
I appreciate so much that they're being so willing to be vulnerable. Take your time is a big
and just
therapist
my
thing
sweet
that
little
I've heard a
4-year-old
lot.
daughter, telling us that a bunch of her memories of California are yellow and blue now.
She gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And I mean, this is why you and I started this. Films are entertainment, but they also illustrate truth. And we talk about the abstract thought and how they try and go into that room of abstract thought. And films help us take the abstract and make it concrete.
Yep.
And because of Inside Out, and because you were an astute enough parent and your wife an astute enough parent to look for an opportunity to teach, your kids can work through stuff now. And there's gonna be so much in their life where they're like, it's okay for this to be bittersweet, right? Or it's okay to feel sad. And because there's gonna be people, and I appreciate you being vulnerable today because there's a lesson here. Look at you. You are a handsome, largish man, and you are, not
Talking to me?
lacking in masculinity. And what you're demonstrating is it's okay. Like, it's okay to feel things. It doesn't take away from you as a man, it doesn't take away from you as a person. You model that for your kids. You're modeling that for everybody watching right now.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
This will be the first in a long series of us watching Pixar movies and me crying like a baby.
It's not planned and it's not performance. What it is he knows himself, and this is what Pixar does.
My wife makes fun of me constantly for this.
My
Well
wife,
deserved.
My wife too.
Your wife makes fun of me? For
No, if someone's gonna cry in a movie, it's gonna be me.
Oh yeah.
Unless she's pregnant, then all bets are off. If you'd like to purchase Inside Out or rent it to help support this program, there's a link in the comments for that, as well as scheduling a 15-minute consultation with me if you'd like some therapeutic help or online
Yeah, check out their
relationship
channel for
courses.
that, for sure.
As always, please, 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 if you like this video, share it with your friends, family, enemies.
What am
We
I
don't care
doing
who
right
they
now?
are, just share it with
Enemies.
somebody. Follow
Enemies.
us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's at therapy_cinema. And please subscribe, like, hit the bell.
Until
All that
next
good
time,
stuff.
connect with your family, connect with your loved ones, cry your freaking eyes out, and
Watch movies.
That was great. So insightful. Hopefully you all see why I wanted to share this channel with you all. And I had learned some of the lessons that they mentioned before. I don't know when exactly, but it's always good to be reminded of them. It's kind of like they were talking about with regarding dreams and bringing the subconscious into the conscious mind and dealing with them directly. That can be very, very helpful. So I very, very much appreciate that. And I definitely really like how willing these two are to be open and vulnerable with their feelings. I know I couldn't do what I do on this channel if I hadn't learned that myself. If you've been on my channel, it's likely that you've seen me cry a whole bunch already. But yeah, if I wasn't comfortable being vulnerable, this reaction channel would be a farce, essentially. But I've never really thought of it as modeling that behavior for others, to know that it's okay to cry, to be vulnerable. And I definitely appreciated them doing it, so I'm very happy if I've done that for others. Alan was talking about how watching this film affected how he and his partner parent, and how his kids recognize certain memories as both blue and yellow. That's just absolutely fantastic. And I definitely wish I'd seen this film when I was younger. I think I watched it when I was 28. It was like one of the first 50 films I reacted to on this channel. But yeah, it would have made things a lot easier if I had understood and internalized all the lessons in this film. Instead, I watched it after I'd already gone to therapy for 2 years and had already internalized a lot of it. But there were still a lot of great lessons in here. And Jonathan had a lot of insightful comments about how the psychology behind a lot of this. And I really like that moment when I was watching him see Alan be emotional and he said, "Take your time," because really, really brought me back to therapy. As I said, I had spent a long time not fully feeling all of my emotions for reasons related to depression, but also due to my upbringing. And finally being in that space of therapy and being allowed and being comfortable feeling these emotions fully made it very difficult for me to get the words out all the time. So "Take your time" is a dear, dear friend of mine. But yeah, I really love what these two do, Alan and Jonathan. Honestly, what they're doing is what I've been attempting to do with my channel all along, except one, they're much more qualified than I am, and two, I don't market my channel as specifically that. Sometimes I just want to do something entertaining, and people tell me that uplifts their spirit as well. So I'm more in the reaction channel milieu, so to speak, to try to catch all the people who might not necessarily watch a video specifically breaking down psychological aspects of fiction, and still hopefully expose them to those ideas as well. So hopefully that gets through. Okay, so I was originally going to do one of these issues-focused videos once a week on Wednesdays, but they're more work than I realized, and I've mentioned many times before that my living situation is just shit right now, so I won't go more into it, but no video next week, but there will be a video the week after. It'll probably be something else from Cinema Therapy, and then we'll see where we go from there with these videos. They mentioned Mother Gothel and gaslighting, and I loved Tangled, so maybe that one. But yeah, I love being able to talk about these very emotional issues. It's the main reason I started YouTube in the first place, so I'm hoping to find a way to do more of them in the future. Again, their full video is in the link in the description below. Check it out. I've got my own movie reactions every week, so definitely check those out. I think we're up to almost 100 movies on this channel. There's a playlist I'll include over somewhere around here. Leave a like, really helps with the channel, and yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, friends.